I hope you're all having a wonderful day and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm showing you how to do your makeup like Meg from Hercules. I really wanted to do a DIY costume this year, so I found this top from Forever 21, threw in a scrunchie in my hair, and honestly, I feel like the biggest thing to make yourself look like Meg from Hercules is the makeup. She has some really unique, strong eyebrows, and her eye shape is a little bit different too, so I show you guys step by step how to do that to make yourself look more like Meg from Hercules. I hope you guys are excited for this video, and let's get started. I went ahead and did one eye off camera and also did my base just because I wanted to show you guys a good before and after. I feel like the most memorable part about doing Meg's makeup is doing her eyebrows, so I'll be showing you guys details on how to do that. I feel like honestly that was the trickiest part. The rest of it was pretty easy. I'll also be using these shadows today from Makeup Geek. I feel like there's a lot of different companies that have shades similar to this, so I will be listing the shade names on the screen for you guys and also in the description if you are interested. But I'll be using a lot of these more mauve shades for her eyeshadow, and I'll be using some more of these red tones, mainly like this deep red shade here for her eyebrow, just because Meg does have like a deeper red hair color. It's almost like purpley red, but I feel like using this type of shade will kind of help me match, even though obviously my hair is not the same color as Meg's. But those will be the shadows I'm using today, and I'll get started by doing this brow for you guys. So since I do have more sparse hairs on my eyebrow, or like basically no eyebrow hair at all, I didn't feel like I needed to cover it up at all. But if you guys do have fuller brows and would like to use some glue to lay down your brows, I'm sure there's lots of videos on YouTube showing you how to do that and showing you in a much better way than I could explain it. But because I do have thinner eyebrows, I'm taking advantage of that by not covering them up. Starting off, I'm taking this brow brush here from Juvia's Place. Actually, I think it's like an eyeliner brush. I got it in a kit with some eyeliners, but there's brushes that look exactly like this. You can get it from like Morphe, Ulta, Sephora. There's tons of places you can get a brush looking similar to this, but basically it's just like on an angle. And I'm starting off by taking this deep red shade here. So I'm starting halfway along my brow, so halfway up. So I'm basically gonna cut off the bottom half of my brow, and just starting kind of almost towards the front, but not exactly at the front. I want to leave a little bit of space. I'm just drawing a line. I'm gonna draw this line almost completely horizontal, so pretty flat here. And I will be cleaning it up with concealer, so if you don't do it perfectly, I'll show you how to clean it up. And I'll bring it actually all the way to the front now. And lightly flick this upwards. I'm just going to where the top of my brow is. And then again, just kind of keeping this pretty flat here. Once I get closer to the end, I'm actually gonna switch brushes because this guy is a little bit denser. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Eyeliner Smudge Brush. And I'll be using that to kind of just pack on the shadow and make it a little bit darker. And we're doing pretty cartoon eyebrows, so it's okay if they don't look very realistic. Once I get closer to the edge here, I'm gonna kind of curve it down. This is a little bit thicker than this side was, but again, I'll cover it with concealer and fix it. Taking the first brush again, I'm just gonna kind of curve that down towards the outside. Trying to keep it super thin. Again, this is gonna look really weird for a little bit, but just trust me on the process. Then for the front part, what I'm gonna do is actually take this to the side of my nose, just like that, and just kind of stamp it and pull it upwards. And it's definitely gonna be thicker than what you'd want it, unless you have a thinner brush, which is great. I'm gonna bring it down pretty far, actually, farther than you'd want to, because noticing Meg's brows, her brows go a little bit lower than you'd assume, and then also pulling up a little bit. So we just have a really straight line, and then I'm gonna kind of connect the dots. So I'm gonna pull this, it's a little bit higher, pull this and drag it towards the middle, so kind of creating like a little triangle there, and then filling it in and just kind of using that to kind of create an expression. Like her eyebrows are almost always like turned upwards. And then from here, I'll basically be kind of connecting the dots too, creating another little triangle like that, and then just filling in the middle. All right, so that's how it looks. I will make it a little bit darker, but first I'm going to clean it up with some concealer. The concealer I used was the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. I'm taking that a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm also using a Morphe M124 brush. This is just like a flat brush. Honestly, I feel like I would have preferred to use a synthetic brush, but this is just the one I found. Just kind of tapping into that. I'm going to start carving out my brows. So just tapping that right on top of my brow hairs, and you can see it's really pretty easy to cover up my brows. There is a little bit of texture, so they're not perfect, but I feel like it does a pretty good job. And And really just using that to sharpen up the lines, to kind of clean up those edges a little bit. I'll be using it on this side too, just to make that a little bit thinner. And then I'll kind of pat around it to kind of press it in, to blend it in. That's kind of how I sharpen that up to make it a little bit sharper. So it's okay that if you can't get it perfect when you apply it, it's really easy to shape it afterwards. Kind of do it like that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Shaping out the bottom here. Making that real skinny at the tail. And doing the same on the top part, just really shaping it out, making it look super skinny. She has very 90s brows, you know? They might be a little too skinny, but I can go back over it afterwards. So just kind of deepening it up now, taking the same shade, maybe even the red shade right above it, and just kind of stamping it on. But that is how I decided to do her brows. I've seen a couple other people do Meg makeup tutorials here on YouTube and they've done her brows differently. You could even just do like a regular brow, that's totally fine. But I really wanted to create that kind of like skinny brow, defined shape. And oh, also, what I'm gonna do too, just to lay down my brows and make that look a little bit more natural, is I'm actually gonna take one of the lighter shades from Makeup Geek and just press that on with this brush on top of those brow hairs to kind of set them in place. Go over them. I mean, it's not perfect, but when you're standing like farther back, you can't really tell. But that is how I do the brows. So pretty simple. You just kind of take your time with it and be okay to kind of reshape it if you mess up. So even if you don't do a perfect job the first time, it's totally fine. If you use some concealer, it's really easy to just create those sharp lines and almost use that negative space as a way to really carve them out. So I didn't really carve them out the first time using the brow products. It's more because of the concealer that you really get Meg's brow shape. For her eyeshadow, I've noticed she has a really interesting eye shape where it's kind of like skinny in the front and then it kind of goes a little bit wide and then comes down. So I try to recreate that with the eyeshadow, but still wanted to make it look pretty and not super like cartoony. So what I'm going to do is take this darker mauve shade here on a fluffy brush, just patting into that. And I'm going to start by just really packing that on in the outer corner here. That's where we want the majority of the pigment. So I'm just kind of packing that on. And normally I go in with a blending shade first, but you guys will see in a second why I'm starting off with a darker shade. I'm almost going like straight up with this. Then going in with a smaller brush from Morphe, taking that same shade, I'm going to just kind of outline and really detail and deepen up that shape. So I'm going above my eye, going a little bit higher to my brow bone than I normally would, and then bringing it out a little bit. But then when I'm closer to the waterline, I'll kind of bring that shade down as well. Just deepen it up. But I will take a lighter shade, like one of these more dusty mauve shades for the inner corner. But I really am gonna keep this pretty low. I'm not gonna bring it up super high. So just bringing it across. Again, being kind of sloppy with this, but I feel like it's such an easy eyeshadow look, you can be not super precise with it. So I'm kind of creating this like shape where it starts down here and it goes out to there. Try to mimic her eye shape. Then when there's a little bit less product, I'll take that lighter shade to kind of blend that out and smooth out those edges. And then in the middle part, I'll just kind of pack that on. It looks like she's wearing one shadow all across her lid, so she doesn't really have a whole lot of like dimension and depth, but I feel like that kind of helped to create a similar shape to what she has. And you can get as detailed as you want with this. You can really spend your time with it and work to really overemphasize that shape, or you could just slap on one shadow and call it good. So that's all I'm going to do with the eyeshadow. It's not like a super clean look, but it's also, we're looking pretty cartoony, so I feel like it's okay to not have it completely blended out. For the eyeliner, I actually took the same shades I used for her brows. So taking this really deep, dark red shade, I'm going to just press that along my waterline, like that. And I'm also going to like wing it out too. And I'm going to take this a little bit farther than I normally would with my winged eyeliner, just because I feel like, again, that's something of Meg's that's a little bit more dramatic. I really want to overemphasize that since there are a few things that she has done with her makeup that really make it look like her. Part of that being her eyeliner and her eye shape. So just kind of packing that on to deepen it up. And just really winging it out. And then keeping it pretty thin along the rest of the eye. The thickest part is more towards the outside of the eye. And I'll also bring it a little bit in towards the inner corner of the eye, just to make it extra dramatic. And I will slightly bring that underneath as well, just to tie it all in together. And actually, I'll take a little bit of that purple shade underneath my eye as well, just to tie in some of those colors. But other than that, that's really the eye look. It's pretty simple. I feel like I did it in about like 10 minutes. It was pretty easy, and I feel like if you're doing like a DIY costume, this would be perfect for that. So what I'm going to do is pop on the lashes and the mascara and come right back to show you guys the lipstick. While the lashes are drying, I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush. This is the Patrick Ta She's So LA blush. I'm just taking a little bit of that and really just keeping it higher on the cheeks, just because I feel like Meg has more of like a contoured face. I'll bring a little bit onto the apples of my cheeks, but mainly keeping that a little bit higher and towards the back part of my face. Again, this is more dramatic look, so I feel like I'm going in with some more blush. And then it's onto the lips. I feel like Meg has like a darker pink, not dusty. I feel like honestly her lipstick would be a perfect match for this shade here. So kind of like a darker red, rosy berry shade. So I found this lipstick. This is the Thrive Cosmetics Chihiro lipstick. And I feel like it was a really good shade match for what she had in the movie. And honestly, I'm not doing anything different to my lips. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do a little bit of a point. I feel like her lips are kind of pointy. Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit better. All right, so this is what that looks like all together. I'm still wearing like normal clothes. My hair's not done. So it might be hard to see what it totally looks like and hard to imagine. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do my hair a little bit what I did last time, because I have some of these pieces that are a little bit like shorter in the front. I'm going to just curl that and throw the rest of this in a ponytail, and then also throw on the shirt I got that kind of looked like Meg's outfit, and I'll show you guys the finished look. This is what it looks like with the hair and the top. Honestly, I found this top from Forever 21 and I'm really excited about it. It was super cheap. It's like a little crop top that I probably wouldn't wear out anywhere, but it definitely has like that Meg vibe. I also threw in like a little gold scrunchie. I've seen like in the movie, she has more of like a red scrunchie thing in her hair. I mean, it's not a scrunchie, it's like a gold clasp thing, but I've also seen pictures of her and like art of her where she's wearing like a gold one. So I figured this would kind of work, but you could also do a red one as well. And for the hair, I basically just curled the rest of it, and I kept out these pieces here that are a little bit shorter in the front. And what I did for the curling part to make her little like swoop thing, I basically took the curling iron and wrapped it around this way. Instead of going away from my face, I brought it towards my face to kind of create that swoopy thing that she has. But honestly, I'm really bad with hair, so this is pretty good for me. But I'm sure there's someone out there that has a much better Meg hair tutorial for you guys. But anyways, I hope you like this tutorial. The first time I did it, it was, well, I didn't do the tutorial, but the first time I tried the makeup look, I did it on TikTok, and honestly, I was really surprised at how easy it was, especially because there's some parts of Meg's face, like her eyebrows, you know, lip color, eye color, that I feel like are so standard to how she looks. It's actually pretty easy as long as you nail those few things. The eyeshadow's a little sloppy, but honestly, it's a great last minute DIY Halloween costume. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Hey, Miss,
Megara. My friends call me Meg, at least they would if I had any friends. So, did they give you a name along with all those rippling pectorals? Are you always this articulate?
Hercules. My name is Hercules.
Hercules? I think I prefer Wonder Boy.
So, how'd you get mixed up with the...
Pinhead with hooves? Well, you know how men are. They think no means yes, and get lost means take me, I'm yours. Don't worry, Shorty here can explain it to you later.